let's play a game. All right. On the count of three, name your favorite dinosaur. Don't even think about it. Just name it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor. What?
Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
This is the Karate in the Garage podcast with Mason Merrill and Weston Toth. Welcome to the Karate in the Garage podcast. This is the podcast where we play a retro video game each week and then we talk about it. My name is Mason Merrill and I'd like to welcome in my co-host Weston Toth. How you doing today, Weston?
Hey man, what's up?
Oh, not too much. Just a little bit of a busy day here, but looking forward to talking about this game with you. Let's talk about a little bit about ourselves. Not for too long, hopefully, but I've been playing games since I was a kid, and kind of Super Nintendo is when I first got into video games. How about you?
Oh man, did you never have an NES, or did you just go straight to Super Nintendo?
Yeah, we went straight to Super Nintendo. I kind of skipped that era. I've gone back and played some of those games throughout the years, though, so I feel a little bit caught up on it. Don't really feel like I missed much compared to today's world, you know?
Yeah, so the first console that I had was the original Nintendo, and then we got the Super Nintendo, and every console since then I've been playing. I even played that old one with the goggles. That there was literally one game that I played, like Mario Tennis. It was like Game Gear or something.
Yeah,
so,
let's see. I saw that thing the other day online. Just something.
Oh, really?
I was looking up retro video games, just kind of preparing for this, and Virtual Boy. That's what it was.
Virtual Boy, man, that thing was sweet, but it didn't last very long. Didn't hold up.
Yeah, I really wish I could actually get my hands on one of those today. That'd be pretty sweet. I'm pretty sure it's in a museum now, though.
Yeah, for sure. I bet they're hella expensive.
Yeah, for real. So the game we have chosen to talk about today is Biker Mice from Mars. I don't know if you ever saw this series, but it was one of a kind, I'd say.
I mean, how into the series were you when it came out? Because I watched that thing religiously, even though it was insanely weird.
Yeah. I think so in 93, I would have been 4 years old. I was born in 89. So I remember seeing it, but I think I really got into it when it went back into syndication, 96 through 97, 8, those kind of years.
Yeah, same here. So when I was looking up, it ran from 93 to 96, but I'm pretty sure that I came into it late because there's no way I would remember that unless I have the memory of a god. So probably the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I actually went back this weekend and I watched an episode of the show, and I was just sitting there thinking the whole time, watching it on YouTube, I was just I just wish they made shows like this still, because the animation and all that kind of stuff, it was just so old school cool, like that old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles type stuff. It's just you don't get that anymore these days with the CGI.
Yeah, I think that's what I really got from the game that I enjoyed was I mean, we can talk about that a little bit more later, but I definitely had some good nostalgia, even though this was probably not loved by a lot of people, but it was something special definitely about the series. And who was the producer of it, actually?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny, you see the executive producer, I had no clue, but it was actually Stan Lee, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible that he, I don't know, I guess did that type of stuff back in the day. I mean, now he's just a famous guy in every Marvel movie, but it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's it must have just been a passion project for him or something, to put his name on that, because it's just like you said, it's seems like such an offshoot, but he's done things like that throughout the years, and more recently he had a hand in Big Hero 6, that movie that was kind of sort of the same campy type of feel to it, but in a Disney kind of mode.
You know what this made me think of when I was playing it too is there was an old cartoon show about some sharks that got morphed.
Street sharks, bro.
Street sharks. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was all during the same time that I watched like Biker Mice. There was Street Sharks was the next one, and man, those were good.
Yeah, dude, we got to play a Street Sharks game. I think they crossed over with like Battletoads at one point, if I'm correct, which is another one of those early '90s television shows.
Oh, I enjoyed all of those, but that's probably just because that's how we grew up, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So, with the plot of this do you happen to remember any of the plot of or how it went down with the with what the show was based on and all that kind of stuff?
Man, when I was going through it, I didn't really get the plot too well, but I remember all the characters. Like the bad guy was the one who, like, in the game he goes backwards. What was his name?
Let's see. Is it I'm not even sure, honestly. What was his name?
I have to pull it up. But there was the three like main biker dudes, which was who did you play in the game? Because I just went with Throttle, which was he was just like the well-rounded Mario of the game. He wasn't super accelerative. He was just like kind of standard 3 stars across the board. Who did you play as?
Yeah, I always played as Vinny because he was the badass.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
That I think I just always wanted. I never was able to like reflect that in my real life. So I always played as like the tried to be like the loner, like darker, like guy of the team.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah,
not to get too deep or anything.
Oh, we just went there.
We just went there. Yeah.
Yeah, Vinny in the game, he had like a crazy amount. He was I'm just trying to, I guess, relate it to another racing game. Is there's always one character with crazy acceleration, but he doesn't have good turning and doesn't have like good top speed, and that was Vinny. So he was like on the really, really technical courses. I got trashed by him.
Yeah, for sure. And so I found the antagonist was Lawrence Limburger. I remember that now.
Limburger, that's him.
Yeah, and he was the guy in the game that kind of rode like the Dr. Robotnik kind of tub cycle or whatever you want to call it.
It was like a little UFO thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then he would like shoot things at you that turned you into this little imp thing running around on the course. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, there was him. There was the spider dude. I'm trying to pull it up right now. I gotta get all the names right, but. Anyway, yeah, it was the bad guys were pretty hilarious, but they were all like different morph, like not humanoids, like animals, right?
Yep. So we got Dr. Benjamin Boris Zachary Carbuncle, a thin, sly, mad scientist of species unknown. So
right.
Not quite sure what he was, and then Grease Pit, a stereotypical cartoonish bungling bad guy sidekick, which is just like a filler character, and then Fred the mutant. And Lord Camembert and Pit Boss, Napoleon Bree, and Mace. Those were kind of the main villains throughout the show. And so basically the show here was about 3 mice who lived on the planet Mars, and it was like Fast and Furious but on Mars, and then somehow they got to the city of Chicago and like became superheroes.
Yep.
And when I was a kid, I understood none of that, but like now looking back in my adult life, I'm like, yes, I'm totally on board with that. Sign me up. I would totally watch the entire thing again.
Oh, I know. It's there's Grease Pit. He was the dude with like the chopper looking one. Mm-hmm. Carbuncle was the scientist, Throttle, Mono Vinny. And they all had different like bikes. So Vinny had he had like the street bike. And the other two were kind of like more classic, but it's just kind of interesting how it reflects a lot of other shows or series like today too, like the Sonic the Hedgehog, because he literally looks like Dr. Roboto or Robotnik.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of a knockoff almost of that in a way. And this show, it was just classic, and they actually tried to revive it in 2006 with like Disney tried to bring it back. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, and like a sequel series is what they were making it. It's kind of funny. I kind of want to watch that now too to see just how bad it probably is.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's got to be awful, but man. So about the game, like when you played it first, did you kind of expect what you got, or what did you like about it that you wish were in other games, or what was rewarding? I guess that's a good question.
Yeah. So for me, like the format was kind of hard to get used to at first, just the way like you play the game. You're basically viewing it from all the rider from all sides, because it's just like one camera angle that just kind of like moves around, around the track. It's almost like you could compare it to today and age with like a drone just over the racetrack, just following you around, kind of thing. And,
dude, I didn't even think about that. You're so right.
Yeah. So and I think that was a really unique style, because like back in the day it was just, and even now, you're just behind the wheel, and it was kind of like a unique style to put it in a way where like they could do more animation with this game. So that was actually something I really appreciated about it.
Yeah, it was the first race that I did when I got back into it. It actually really messed up my mind because of that mechanic where whenever you like basically take a, I don't know, right or left, and the bikes are coming towards you from the screen, it's reverse. So it kind of messes with your brain depending on like, because you were, I guess, like all, Mario Kart now, you're just right behind the thing, so it's super easy to control. I think this game was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it definitely took me a few minutes to get back, or just a few tries to get back into like doing the campaign, because like, you do the first 3 races and then you have to qualify to continue, so you have to be one of the top 3 to keep the game going, which like I had kind of forgot about it. I thought it was more of like a Mario Kart, just like a whole racing cup and everybody gets to continue to race. But like if you don't make the top 3 after the first 3 races, you're out.
Yeah. Did you how many races did you get through until, because I got first enough points to not get dropped the first time, but the second time I was getting like fourth, third and fourth, because I guess I wasn't good with the powers, but it just got more complicated. So I got dropped after like the second big round going back in.
Yeah, I made it through the second one, and that was about it. So, but yeah, I really thought it was pretty cool how they kind of revolutionized the racing game type thing, and not only the camera angle, but also like the upgrades you could do.
Yes. So that's what I wanted to talk about. The reason that what I liked about this game was the fact that if you did really well, and a lot of NES or Super Nintendo games did this, if my memory is correct, and I'm excited to play other ones, is whenever you did well, you got first, you could get an upgrade to the engine or the tires or whatever. So you felt like by doing good, you gained an advantage over time. And if you did bad, then you got nothing. You had the same crappy bike or the same character from before.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And the way you do that, you earn cash, and then like between each race, you can take your bike to the shop and then buy either your wheel upgrades or your engine, or like, let's see, there was a weapon upgrade. And then I think there was one more. I can't remember exactly what it was.
The tires. So there was the tires, the engine, the tires, and then the armor, so you could take more hits.
That's right, the armor.
Because if you took so many hits in the game, that's what happened with the last series that I did, is I started getting hit so much where eventually it just disqualifies you. Like, you just lose.
Yeah.
So you get armored up, so you can take hits. Well, so I upgraded the weapons. Did you ever figure that out? I upgraded the weapons, and it didn't. I felt like it did nothing. Like, I don't know what it did, but
yeah, I mean, apparently it makes it a little bit stronger, but like, or makes like it last a little bit longer or whatever. But yeah, I didn't really. There wasn't much depth to it other than like, oh yeah, that's something to spend money on. This will make you stronger.
I wish it would have. It would have done more for me, because it was like the first upgrade was like 2,000 for like the weapon, and I spent it, and I feel like it didn't do anything. But I didn't like about that. But the idea of getting money in the bank or saving up for like the next upgrade was really cool. Or depending on which character you got, like what do you want to spend your upgrades on. I like when you do really well, you get rewarded, and then if you do poorly, you're at a disadvantage. I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I also liked that, like, in a lot of arcade games, like, you lose that round and you just lose everything. Like, this game was able to save kind of your progress if you wanted to keep going, if you wanted to continue once you lost out, and you could keep your progress going and just restart, but you still had those upgrades to help you advance to the next round and the next part. And even though, like, if you shut the game off, unless you wrote down that crazy, like, 16 tile password, that you were pretty much just having to start over. But at least while you were playing the game, you just didn't just lose everything, automatically.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. I like how you could, like, again, because the second, I remember I got the first engine upgrade, but the second one was $9,000, and the only way to get that is to win, like, I don't know, I think you're averaging, if you got first place, it was like 3,000. So you had to win first place in so many rounds, which was almost impossible. I don't know, it was hard for me. So it's kind of cool that you could save it and then go back to it and then finally basically progress. It was almost like a progression. Even though the game was really simplistic, you at least had some sort of thing to go back to.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So what are the other modes that in the game did you play or did you like? Or
So the other one was battle mode, and what I gathered from it is you just got more bullets.
Yeah.
So I played that one too, but I think you just got double the bullets, or they did more damage because they must have done more damage too. Because whenever I played that one, I was you got like more bullets or power ups or whatever, and then I got knocked out faster too because people were chunking me down.
Yeah, and it was more based on your hits more than just like winning the race in that mode too.
Yes.
Which is cool.
So,
it's kind of like in Mario Kart where you have the battle mode,
Yeah, it was like a race battle mode.
Yeah,
because
like their own take on it.
Yeah, because winning the race still mattered, but you got like more weapons, and then like the takedowns and stuff were more influential. It was cool. It's just like another take on it, but it was still a pretty simple game. There's basically one mode, even though there was the battle and the regular, just a different version of it, I felt like.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, and it's pretty cool. And then like between battles or races, you would go to their good friend Charlie Davidson's shop. I just read that on here. I just thought that would be a little side note.
Yeah, Charlie Davidson's a girl.
Yeah, their girl, auburn-haired, green-eyed human mechanic who owns the Last Chance Garage in Chicago, which is pretty cool. So,
and people thought that the 90s was sexist, but they have a girl mechanic who works on their bikes and is amazing.
Yep, that's right. Biker Mice from Mars were trailblazing, this day and age.
They did it. They set it up.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, well, that's pretty cool. I think it was nice to start out with that little trip down memory lane, and hopefully we didn't set the bar too high with this first game.
No, it was basically. I mean, it's just a simple racing game, but I mean, I would like to go back and just see and put some hours and see if I can actually like win the game, because I was having a tough time after the first round.
Yeah. I think this is one I'm not just gonna like put down. Like just like, oh yeah, I'm done with this one. Like some of these games will do. I'm sure. Like I think
sure.
I'll circle back to this one and maybe we'll keep the listeners updated on it, how it's going.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we can play it together and try to beat it as a team, 2-player.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, yeah, I thought that was pretty good though. Pretty cool game, and pretty unique in style and like idea and everything. So, go Stanley. Yeah. You did it right.
Exactly. Stanley, executive producer, Biker Mice from Mars, 1994. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he got 3 seasons of it, 65 episodes, which is a pretty good run.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was popular enough that I watched like every episode when it was on. Because did it air? It aired on like Cartoon Network. It must have, right?
It was actually like the ABC morning.
Oh, like ABC Kids.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, it said it was Disney ABC, so they had like their Saturday morning version of like Fox Kids, kind of thing.
Fox. I was just about to say because Fox Kids had like Digimon and all the other like Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, and there was like a brief run of like a Ninja Turtle show that was live action on there, and just some different stuff. So, but yeah, it was. I remember it was always like, I guess I don't really want to watch this show. I'll go over and watch the ABC version of Fox Kids.
Yeah, true. But I want to know is like, what is your son gonna watch? Like, is there still Fox Kids, or what are the kids watching these days?
Dude, it is Netflix. Like, I have a 3-year-old, and it's all about Netflix. Like, that kid doesn't even like want to. I'm like, hey, how about we watch like the old Nicktoons channel or something? He's like, no, Daddy, I want to watch Netflix. And there's some kids shows and stuff on that. It's not as cool as this, and maybe he'll be into cooler stuff when he's a little bit older, more of our age. But yeah, that's pretty much it these days. It's like the streaming service. Which streaming service do you want to watch?
I know. I have television, but just for sports. That's pretty much about it.
Yeah,
and everything else, I just watch Netflix and YouTube and Hulu and all the other ones that are on demand, because who wants to watch commercials?
Yep, that's right. That is correct. Yeah. Anyway, so I think we covered this game pretty good. It's there's not much. It's complex, but not at the same time, kind of thing. So I think we covered it pretty well.
You know what I wanted to say too, though, that was like you were saying in the beginning that was different about this one was when we played. This was like a year ago when we played Mario Kart. The way that the land twisted on that one was way different than the camera following the bike on this one, and then you basically just turning like a drone. You would fly a drone. So it was completely different than Mario Kart. It was whoever thought of it definitely didn't steal each other's ideas, because they were kind of opposite.
No, yeah, and that it like stands out in that way. And I think like compared to Mario Kart, they could do a lot more with animation with this game, because it was laid out that way, which I really appreciated. I thought that was really cool for those times,
Yeah, the lands were way cooler than Mario Kart. Like the animations were, for sure, because they were all happening around you, even though whether than like Mario Kart was almost like it was like a distance, like a mirage almost. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it almost kind of like wigs you out, like just because it's twisting and turning and this and that is pixels and it's going by so fast, So
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was neat. Yep.
What else you playing?
Before we move on, I think after we play each game, we need to like kind of do like 5-star rating, or like
okay,
kind of like
yes,
where we're gonna put this game in the spectrum. I don't want to just be like I'm gonna give this game 5 stars, just because it's our first game and things like that. So
sure,
I think for what it is and everything, I'd definitely give it 4 stars though.
Yeah, I think after we do a bunch of other games, it's going to be like a solid like 3.5 for me, because I enjoyed the game. I thought it had a lot to offer. Like I said, it was definitely really different than Mario Kart on how it approached it. It just lacked a little bit of features. I think that's the only thing, is it just pretty much had one mode, or a battle mode. But I had fun with it. It was good. It was super solid average, but I know there's going to be other games that are going to be a lot more in depth. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, looking forward to that. So, yeah, I think the kind of like the format of what we're doing here, I think we're going to do like we had talked about it, like we'll do some kind of one-off games where we can kind of just take the week and play them, and then like over time, maybe a month or 2 months or whatever, we can do like kind of a long-form game. You cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some of those, especially like the A Link to the Past. I know that we wanted to do that one, and some of the other long form games. It just takes longer than a couple hours during the week. So
exactly, yeah. And like Mario RPG, there's ones like that.
Oh yeah,
some of the Final Fantasies, especially Final Fantasy VI. That was it's on other platforms. It's on iPhone, and like it was on PlayStation and things like that. But it originated on Super Nintendo, which was pretty cool.
Yep. Is that the one with Cecil?
Oh, no, that's Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, okay. I have to play it because I haven't played the old ones, and I know you have. So I think that'll be cool to review because you've played those before. You obviously really like them, but to revisit them and then for me to play them as completely like I've never played the early ones, but I am a big Final Fantasy fan, so that'll be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. That some of those games are like, even with today's technology and everything, are still some of my favorite games just based on like the story was so good, kind of thing. So looking forward to that. Yep. So I give it a 4. You give it a 3.5. I think it did pretty well. So coolio. Yeah. So as far as other games playing right now, I think like mostly just been sitting around waiting for Spider-Man PS4 to come out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick that up. I'll probably let you pick it up first, and then I'll pick it up afterwards. I've been consumed with World of Warcraft because who isn't? If you like that, the new one came out. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that I have not done this time around, but maybe eventually I'll pick it up.
Yeah, did I tell you how many hours I played it straight when it first came out?
No. What are we looking at here?
So, I didn't do this last time, but this is the first time when the minute that it went live, they just basically flipped a switch, and I played it from, I think it was 2 o'clock my time to 6:30 the next morning straight.
Wow. Is that like a record, even in all the times we played back in when it came out in 2005 and all that? I think that might be a record. I don't know if we ever played it that long straight before.
I think it was pretty close. We've played it for a solid 10 hours, but that was 2 to or even 3 to 6. That was 15 hours straight. It was a record because me and my brother, we played it together all the way, and we were going to do 24 hours, but it just was too much after I was starting to, and we were doing it really quickly to level. So
yeah,
it just got too much. But yeah, I've been doing that. Did you, for the Spider-Man game, did you do the pre-order with the new suits too?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's like, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and I would not have it any less. I got to have all those extra costumes.
Yeah, so they were saying, do those costumes like alter your abilities and stuff too, or are they just aesthetic?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on that, but I know what they've announced right now is like a alternate costume from what he's wearing now, and then there's like the one from the Avengers movie, the Iron Spider is one of them, and then there's I can't exactly remember what the other one was, but I know they're coming out with 3 of them initially, and I'm sure there will be more that's kind of unlockable in the game.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at right now the Iron Spider, and then there's like a punk rock Spider-Man.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one looks like it kind of looks like Tron, like the spider's blue and glowing. It looks really cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, that game looks really good. I'm sure it's going to be hopefully considered for Game of the Year. I think it's been whoever's people have played it in the past or before launch have really liked it. So
yeah, it looks pretty sweet. Just all the gameplay trailers, and just it looks like a whole. They're kind of doing what they did with the Arkham games for Batman, with Spider-Man, and hopefully it can kind of even rival the animated series back in the day, kind of thing. It's just like that old feeling of like, oh god, this is just so awesome.
Yeah, sure. Speaking of, what do you want to play next week?
I think it's only right to play a Spider-Man game. Just with
that's what I'm talking about. Yes,
there are good ones, and I'm trying to decide like if we can figure it out to play together. I'd like to play like Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety, but if not, I think we should just take it back to the Spider-Man animated series. So kind of what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if we can do that together. So I don't think I ever played that game, Spider-Man, and I'm looking up Separation Anxiety. Oh, there's Maximum Carnage. I played that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's the sequel to Separation Anxiety. Yeah.
Oh, this was on Sega Genesis?
They had a version of it on Genesis and Super Nintendo, so that's another conversation. We need to decide which one we want to play.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this looks really cool. I'm totally down for this. So I played. Funny thing is, Venom and Spider-Man, or Venom and Carnage. Which one was that one? Yeah, Maximum Carnage. So I got that one when I was, oh man, I don't know, 7 years old from the Blockbuster Video. Oh yeah,
oh dude,
Blockbuster Video. I got it home. I was so excited because just like you, I was a huge Spider-Man fan. I love Spider-Man, everything about it. I think Carnage and Venom, just the whole idea of them is super cool. And then my parents wouldn't let me play it because it was so violent. So now being a grown man, I'm going to play Spider-Man, Venom and Spider-Man.
Stoked on that. Yeah, definitely. That's for sure a classic. I remember like with my brother, we grew up playing all those games, and we played Spider-Man and Venom religiously. That was like one of our, we never actually bought it, but we would always rent it. Like we probably spent more money on renting the game than actually just owning it.
Yeah, we need to play this one or the other one the week that the movie comes out too, the Venom movie. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. So yeah, for sure. We need to figure out what exactly we're gonna do. Google the Spider-Man, the animated series, Super Nintendo.
Spider-Man animated series.
Because that one was pretty cool too. So it was literally just an offshoot of the old television show, which was really awesome. That was like,
oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I remember this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can totally do this one. There's also Spider-Man and the X-Men too, and I love me some X-Men. So there's a lot of Spider-Man games to be playing. So maybe we'll pick one.
We're gonna have to space them out so we don't just like bog our listeners down with Spider-Man.
Just Spider-Man.
We just do Spider-Man for the next like 10 weeks, and I'm playing the PS4 game at the same time. So.
Oh man, you know what? Another one I just thought of that I came across is Batman Forever on Sega Genesis. Did you ever play that game?
Yep. That was a classic for sure. The Batman the Animated Series, Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. Definitely have to check those out. Another Spider-Man game is the Spider-Man on PlayStation 1. I played that thing. We actually had that game, and I played that game so much. I literally did every achievement and every single little secret thing you could do in that game. It was the first game I remember like kind of telling a story with like voice actors and things like that. So that was a pretty good one too.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do. I mean, I definitely think that we should start just with Venom and Spider-Man and try to do it together. Okay. And maybe stream it. So that'd be kind of cool just to be able to do it together and have some footage. Yeah, and then maybe if in case anyone else wants to go back and check it out and play it for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. You're the Twitch man, so I'll let you handle that. But yeah, for sure, I'm definitely down to kind of try to figure that out and play it together. Or you can stream it by yourself or however you want to do it. It'd be definitely a lot cooler if we could figure it out to play together, though, through the waves of the internet.
Exactly. From Texas to the city of Texas to city of Texas.
Yep. And just as like a sidebar, Weston and I both grew up in Georgia together, and we met when we were around 12 or 13 and instantly became like best friends and grew up playing games and all through the teen years and all that. And then like I moved from Texas when I was a kid, and Weston was born and raised in Georgia. And then we both somehow ended up in Texas like in our late 20s. So
yeah, we're coming up on 30. And so I live in Austin, Texas, which is where I ended up. And you live in
Northwest Texas in the middle of nowhere in a town called Pampa.
Pampa, Texas and Austin, Texas. Yeah.
That's
cool.
us. We're about like you would think, oh, they're not too far apart, but we're about 8 hours apart. It's a pretty good drive from here. So anyway,
yeah,
doing this kind of stuff over the airwaves is definitely pretty cool. Good way to keep in touch and all that kind of stuff too. So
I know. Just imagine the times that we were actually sitting next to each other in your house or my house playing these games.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. It was good times for sure.
That's a thing in the past now. I never have to leave my computer room.
Yeah, and that's kind of like it's awesome and technology is great, but it's kind of sad at the same time because like I was thinking about that the other day with like the new Super Smash Bros and stuff. I'm like, I'm sure we're gonna play that, with our Switch and everything, but
Sure.
like what we gotta have like a time where we all get together and like do it old school style, and play it in the same room and like be able to like talk trash and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I think the best part about that too was on like a first player game. Instead of each one like playing it by themselves, we would just take turns. So one person would play it, or someone would be into it, where we were trying to defeat a boss, and then we just take turns, or watching each other. It was definitely more a community thing rather than. There's a big online community, and we have obviously ways to play it, even though we're 8 hours away. But I kind of miss just going down, or you coming over, or me going there, and
playing some of these old games. Yep. For sure, and we're looking to kind of cover like all genres of games too. We're kind of starting. Biker Mice from Mars wasn't like a big superhero, but they're still like superheroes, and Spider-Man obviously is a superhero. But we want to like get into the Marios and the Kirby's, and kind of cover all realms. Even like I'd be down with playing a Madden from like '95 or whatever.
Yeah, no, we should definitely do that because. Like your background in video games, you pretty much play every Madden and 2K game, right? Like a basketball, football game when it comes out.
Yeah, for sure. I I'm a pretty big sports fan, so I especially football. So I tend to pick up the Maddens every year, and I skipped 2K last year, but it looks like it's going to be pretty good this next year. So I might, and plus LeBron's now a Laker, so. I got to pick it up for that.
Yeah, true. He's going to be on the cover.
Yeah, for sure. Again.
Yeah. Again, exactly. Well, that'll be cool.
It's like regular edition LeBron, Legends edition LeBron.
LeBron. Oh man, it's gonna be fun. I like sports too, but I don't play sports games. I play a lot of other ones. I play like online MMOs and then MOBAs or battle arenas like Fortnite and stuff like that, even though that game maddens me so much because it's
I was playing it on PlayStation 4, and then it came out with the Switch version, and I was so stoked about it because I'm like, oh, it's just like an online account, and then somehow like Sony blocked the access, so you couldn't share your Switch account with your PlayStation account, so I just like gave up. I was like, you know what, I was playing this and I got like sort of, a good ways into it, and then I'm like, I have to restart this. I'm good. I'm all set.
Yeah, don't go down that rabbit hole if you just want to be frustrated. These kids are so
if you just
ridiculous.
Want to waste money and be frustrated.
That the weird thing about that is you don't even have to waste money. It's free to play. But they somehow get you to waste money on skins and everything else like that. It's extremely maddening. But
yeah, for sure. I like that's one thing I appreciate about playing these old games. It's like they're classic number one, and they're not going to like hit me with a, hey, you want to spend $5 on your iTunes account right now?
Yeah, I think it's universally accepted that giving people something really addictive for free and giving them an option just to pay for like new characters or skins and stuff, I think works because all the billion-dollar franchises right now, they're not just selling $60 games and making that money. They're selling them for free, like League of Legends, or giving away for free, like League of Legends or Fortnite, and they're just paying for skins or icons or your favorite this or that, and they're making just ridiculous amounts of money. So
yeah, exactly.
They
Even World
know
of
how to
Warcraft.
get the
They're free to level 20 now, and there's it's kind of locked, but even they've joined the revolution of it.
Yeah, well, you can. So if you sign actually back up with World of Warcraft, they got super smart too. Is you get all the expansions free except the new one.
Yep.
So and there's just the same thing. There's mounts and skins and character boost. If you don't want to have to put time into it, you can just pay $60 and you get a brand new level 110. So they're on the train too.
It's like you could restart the game every expansion with a new character now because you're just like you can be 110 instantly.
Yeah, that's what I did. Because you get a free. So I changed my class, which I've always been the same one for the longest time, and I just completely changed because I was like, why not? There's no. there's no penalty because I just get it for free. Easy peasy. And if I don't like it, then I can just switch back and boost the other one.
Exactly.
So
yeah, it's funny. Yeah, one of these days I'll catch up on the last couple expansions of WoW and just waste my life on it when my wife isn't pregnant and my 3-year-old isn't like chomping at the bit for attention like all the time.
Yeah, so that'll be never. That'll be in 18 years after you've sent him off.
No, whenever they're both like 14 or, be like 14 and 17 or whatever, they can just play with me. It'll be great.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, you just got to raise them up to like these things, and then you will you'll be good to go. But by then everything's going to be virtual. There's going to be something that tickles your belly button, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's just going to be like Ready Player One by that point, where they're just like living in the game.
Yeah, well, hey, I'd be down with that. That was pretty cool. So
yeah, that movie was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's good.
But yeah. So we plan on doing this weekly and just kind of getting it out there. And if you guys want to write in, we have a email address. It is KITG for Karate in the Garage, KITGpodcast@gmail.com. So write in and give us suggestions on what we can play or do better or what you like to hear or whatnot, and hopefully we can get to it.
Yeah, sounds good. Please, bad and good things, just no 1-star reviews.
Yeah, leave us 5-star reviews. You can tell us you hate us in them. Just make sure you click 5 stars.
1-star emails, 5-star reviews.
Exactly. Oh man, yeah. But hopefully this will get out there and people will hear it eventually.
Yeah, for sure. And if not, it'll be a good time for us to hang out and talk about some sweet games.
Yep, and then in 10 years we can go back and listen to all of them and be like, "Oh man, that was fun."
Exactly.
So yeah, next week we are gonna do some Venom and separation anxiety. Do you want to play the Genesis version or do you want to play the Super Nintendo version? Question.
Yeah, let's play the Genesis version because I never owned a Genesis. I owned the Super Nintendo.
Exactly. I feel like it was cooler on Genesis too, so I'm down with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the controller made no sense at all, so we definitely should play it on Genesis.
Yeah. Still uncertain how that controller thing's going to go. My controller only has 4 buttons, and there's definitely like 6 on the Genesis controllers. We'll have to figure that one out, but it'll be all right.
Yeah, but they didn't have the back buttons, so we got those, like
True
the
that.
triggers.
Yeah,
so it'll be
sure.
okay.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, this has been a good first episode, and we will talk at you next week.
All right. Later.
All right, man. Out.
Bye.